No, but guys, Jose Rivero is a coach. Jose Rivero is an incredible coach. And this Pirates team is an incredible Pirates team. For all of the questions we had of them, they're answering them. And this is why. Pirates didn't have a good game. There were lots of things happening in that game that were not good. You look at the defense. Marco and Libito. Marco, very good effort. Marco and Libito were leaving Sbisi and Sesane bare. So Abo Sesane and Sbisi had to keep running out to the sides to try and cover. And that meant that Ahly got a lot of chances to run inside the Pirates, into those gaps. So Sesane goes, there's a guy making a run. While he's looking that way, there's a guy making a run right behind him. He gets the ball. They had 23 shots, 6 on target. Chain had an exceptional game. In the middle, there wasn't a progression. Makaula, we know he doesn't play the ball a lot, so Ahly was pressing him specifically. And then Talente was just losing balls. Talente is not a 6, but he was losing balls. You look up front, again, Tito wasn't the best Tito that we know. Tito wasn't that guy that you can rely on what he was in the previous season. And I think it's because, again, Mfokeng, they're trying so hard to make Mfokeng a 10 that when he comes inside, it forces Tito back. And Tito is not a deep-lying playmaker. He doesn't have those skills. So where he should be receiving the ball, like similar to how Azwane receives the ball from an Allende and doesn't have to go look for it. He had to go look for it, and he also took himself out of the game. The other thing that happened was because Mfokeng is coming inside, it means that Umakhupa can't do the thing that he normally does in terms of target man play, center forward play, where he drops in and pulls the defenders. So now he finds himself out on the wings. And for those who don't know what Makhupa does in a game, look at the chances the first 2 minutes. Makhupa was the reason why that defensive line was not straight. That defense, Ahly, was so ill-disciplined. And it's also because their star players were on the bench. I think Marcel Koller, the coach here, Ahly, was trying to play a specific game. But I'm going to get to that. It's what makes this game so exciting. Anyway, Umakhupa was successfully pulling the centre-backs in and allowing the highway behind to open up. And Pirates had plenty of opportunities of their own where they made the wrong decision or they didn't make the right pass. So South African players have this thing where when we're breaking, Batanduk Jiga away from the post when they're controlling the ball instead of taking it in. And there was a few times where Hotto was running in, where Mfokeng was running in, Talente, great ball to find Mfokeng. But there was a lot of ill-discipline in that Ahly team. But here is the genius. So in African games, the more active team, the one that looks more dangerous, the one that is Baltunga, is usually not the team that wins if they don't take their chances. So it's a completely different game if Ahly take their chances. But because they didn't take their chances, they become a team that can be taken advantage of in the second half. And second halves are always different when it comes to CAF Champions League football, even AFCON football. So in the second half, Ahly played their game, they got their goal, but they had made 3 subs. El Shahat came onto the pitch, I think it was El Debez, I'm forgetting the third one, but they came onto the pitch in order to heighten the game. So what Ahly usually does is they play very ugly until your last 20, 25, 30 minutes where they just overwhelm you. So usually they go into that first half 0-0, playing ugly, they play ugly. They go into the first part of that first half playing ugly. They make the changes. It takes 1 attack or 2 attacks or 3 attacks that they didn't become clinical on for them to win the games. That's how they win most of their games, especially in the knockouts. And where South African teams suffer, or where the South African teams often fail, is that in that time, it becomes who's going to blink first. So Ahly doesn't mind waiting you out, knowing that they just need the one chance. Then they make the subs and they hit you with the one chance and they go home, right? Ahly made their changes a little bit too early. And the genius of Rivero in this game was that he waited. He waited. So, to give you an example, Rulani loses the Wydad and the ES Tunis games because he becomes too defensive too early. Or he makes the wrong change at the wrong time and then it gets taken advantage of and there's not enough time to come back. Jose Rivero had the balls, the cojones, to sit there and say, no, I'm going to wait out this 10 minutes. So Ahly had 10 minutes where they were hot. And when we start to see them dip, I'm going to make my own attacking changes. And I'm going to push them back. Which is, it's courage. Even I was sitting there thinking to myself, at what point do you just go, you know what, guys? 1-1 is a good score in Cairo. Let's bring on 6 defenders. Let's defend this game out. And Rivero goes, no, I'm going to out-Africa this team. And they make a move, then I make my own one on top, which is something that you don't see. Sorry to interrupt the video that I'm sure you're enjoying, but I just wanted to say thank you for all of the support that you guys have shown me and my Overthinking Football platform. I'm a one-man band that's doing all of this, and I really do enjoy the comments about how, you know, Supersport needs to come fetch me and SABC and all of that stuff. And I think it speaks to the quality of the content, but also the amount of effort that I put in. So I just wanted to say thank you. But the truth is that Abu Supersport and all of those guys, yes, we're competing with them, but it's a completely different place. The sponsors are looking for former players, and to be honest with you, running some of these things is getting so difficult and things have changed at home. So financially, it's a whole different world. So I wanted to try something new and come to the overthinkers, the people who watch the content, and say it would be incredible if you guys could contribute monthly towards the platform, towards keeping my lights on, but also making sure that all of the crazy things that I want to do, that I want to take Supersport on with, I can actually do. And just for 20 Rand every month, I think that would be an incredible contribution if you can make it. It may sound like a little, but if we can get a lot of people behind it, then we'll be able to carry on doing what I do. I'll be able to carry on giving you the content and also expanding it, because we don't have shows like this, and us content creators need help from our audiences. So I just came here to ask you if you can. Here is the account number that you guys can use in order to contribute. And I think, yeah, I'd be very grateful if you would. But anyway, let's get back to the video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I think what we've said about this Pirates team all season long is that they shouldn't be winning these games. It's ugly. It's scrappy. You know? But the one thing you give to this Pirates team more than anything, well, there's 2 things. Number 1, they share the pressure, which is something that everybody, I think, we take for granted. They share the pressure. Umfukeng goes missing for most of the games, but it doesn't matter, because when you need him on that one time, he will score. And if he doesn't score, Mabasa out of nowhere, you won't even know which Mabasa and in that game, he'll come in and he'll score. If Mabasa's not going to score in that game, but when it's tough, he will pounce on a mistake of a goalkeeper and score. If they can't do that, Unkwata can score 2 in Algeria. If Unkwata can't do it, Umbata can take a long shot and bail the team out if we need it. Tito can stand up. Udlamini can take. Guys, this Pirates team is one of the strongest teams because they are an actual team. Everybody can step up when it's needed. So that's the one thing, the number 1 thing that I've seen here that Pirates brings. The second thing that just is incredible of this Pirates team is that they suffer. They know how to suffer. When you're playing Pirates, it's not a team that's going to close you out and you know, outpass you, and you're not going to see the ball. You will get chances. It's not that Ahly was not dangerous this game. They got a lot of chances, way more clear-cut chances than Pirates did. For whatever reason, they didn't take them. But we've been forever reasoning for this whole season up to this point because you will play. And I said it in the game versus TS Galaxy, for example, where TS Galaxy had a lot of the ball, where TS Galaxy was moving the ball at some point. It looked better than what Pirates was moving the ball. But every time you look up to that scoreboard, they've won. And in a very early conversation we had about the Pirates, I said that, what if we've got it all wrong? And the Pirates' football is African football. Ahly is not known for Gultunga. They're not known for the expensive play, one touch, whatever. They're known to come into games, watla, go home. And this is what Paris has been doing. Outside of a couple of matches, there's been matches where they've shown their attacking prowess, 8-1 versus Marumo Gallants. There've been matches where, they've shown we are the Pirates that, you know us as. But for the most part, they've been a grinding, suffering team. I want to highlight Abu Sbisi. Usbisi is not the first name that I call. You think about Abu Toki, you think about Abunda, you think about what might have happened last season if Unda went out injured like he did this year. If Toki was not available, every one of us will be thinking, yeah, it's going to be tough. But he stood up and he's led by example. He fights. He fought in that game. And this Pirates team fights. Experience doesn't matter. Lack of experience doesn't matter. Lack of depth doesn't matter. Hey, you guys have been out of the Champions League for so long. Doesn't matter. Hey, how are you going to sustain the league and the Champions League? Doesn't matter. Number 2 in the league right now. Number 1. One of only 2 unbeaten teams left, and AS4 might get beaten by Sundowns tomorrow. Pirates might leave the group stages as an unbeaten team in a group that had the 12-time champions Ahly. And Ahly will only be able to say that they got 1 point from the Pirates this time. Pirates has only really lost. The fact that you can count the games that the Pirates has lost. 2 in the league. Makesi, calling knockout. Where else? Guys, what Pirates is doing has to be celebrated. What Jose Rivero's doing has to be celebrated. And I think the biggest thing is that it feels as though they looked at all of their shortcomings from last year, the inconsistencies of the games, the inability to take advantage of some of their big stars, the aimless, beautiful play that wasn't coming with any results at times. They've answered them. I don't know what happens going forward. I'm not going to say they're going to win the league and win the champion. I don't know. But you have to give them credit. Because it looks nothing like the Pirates of last season. It looks nothing like the beauty of the Pirates, the beauty of the South African game. And it doesn't have to. Because this Pirates is showing us that the result is king. Oh, guys. I'm so happy. And I think I'm happy because finally there's a team that sort of gets it. Forget your beautiful football. Forget your touches. Forget your possession. Forget this, forget that. Go out and do what needs to be done to get the win there. I know this game was a game of no consequence. Both teams had qualified. But you cannot say that Ahly didn't try their best. You can't even hang it on that. What a performance by Pirates. What a win. Number 1 in their group going into the knockouts. What more can you say? Well done. Baka. I'll see you guys on the next one.